There's no such thing as trans people. That's something that you created.
Buckle up, buckaroo!
This is a very interesting situation going on with Nickmercs and the trans LGBTQ controversy that he's stirring up, or maybe, in my opinion, actually, maybe before I go any further, it's not controversy. I agree with Nickmercs and what he said, and we're going to go into what he said here and watch the little clips and videos of his take on the trans community. But it's an interesting situation because his take and what he's saying is starting a conversation that I would like to talk about as well. And when it comes to this whole equality, inclusivity, and the whole social virtuing thing that is going on in the West. And quite frankly, how at the end of the day, if we can be quite frank and honest here, it's all bullshit. And people who do not want to hear that, people who oppose my opinions or those of Nickmercs, I would like for you to at least listen to this video, listen to this conversation, because it needs to be said. At the end of the day, I'm not coming from a place of hate or bigotry. I'm coming from a place of reality. And that is the situation that people really don't want to deal with. And that is people want to live in, or they don't want to live. They're just easily fooled to believe that the reality that they're accepting is actually organic and not contrived. And there are reasons for this situation, like this whole June Pride Month and this push for kids getting read to by strippers or whatever, men who say they're women but women and they're gays, and then they're like doing like whatever kid readings. Like, why do we have to have people in a sexualized manner who are of the LGBTQ plus community read story time to little kids? Like, how's that make any sense? And why do you have kids going to parades where it's overly sexualized, pride parades where dudes are unthonged gyrating, and it's mostly 99% about sexuality and not about the rights of people, which that is the difference. Let me get that straight as well. I'm all about that. I'm all about people being able to do what they want to do and live a free life and be able to, if you want to marry a guy, go for it. If you want to, chop your dick off and call yourself Sally instead of Sam, listen, if you're a grown adult and of sound mind and not mentally ill, well, that's an actual argument as well. Maybe transgenderism is actually mental dysphoria, physical dysphoria. It is a body dysphoria. It is and was a clinical psychological problem, but, times change, things change. But the whole situation going with Nickmercs, if you don't know, I'm getting ahead of myself, and what's going on is this. He was on a stream, and he said some things that some people who have, I guess, low-level thinking normies, a bunch of, people who are easily tricked by corporations into believing that this whole pride thing and this whole big push is somehow an organic experience. Otherwise, they don't realize, rather, that they are being manipulated. And a lot of things are happening in the world are being are sort of like a chess game. It's a big chess game being played, and most of us are the pawns. Some of us realize we're pawns. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, we have nothing more than just our voices. We don't have any actual power behind us. The point is that you think it's organic. You think what's really happening is not being controlled and a narrative not being pushed by certain people. We'll get into that as well and what's really going on. But let's first watch these clips of Nickmercs and his take on the trans people not being real people, and it's all just, body dysphoria and it's a mental health problem. And then we can come back and talk a little more. So yeah, here's the takes by Nickmercs. The first one is how it all started.
Nick, the transphobe struggling against the trans game. There's no such thing as trans people. That's something that you created. So have fun with your little dreamland, but that shit's not even real. Let me break it down for you, right? Penis, dude. Vagina, girl, done.
And here's the next clip where he just breaks everything down.
That's the thing, though. I don't care about people agreeing with me. I don't really mind. It's fine. There's going to be people that disagree and people that agree. I don't care about the percentages or the cuts or whatever. It doesn't bother me. I feel a certain way about all that. And I've said my piece, and I will remind these fucking people that, again, the little dream fantasy bullshit that they're living in is not real life, and not everybody has to dance to their tune. That's not how that works. You don't get to go around and point your finger in people's chests and say, hey, you live in my world. You think the way that I think. You believe the way that I believe. No. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. It never has been, and it never will be. So if you guys want to live like that, go ahead. Do what you want to do. Not me. And I don't need people to agree with me. I don't need no echo chamber bullshit. This is the way that my wife and I feel. This is the way that my family feels, the people that are closest to me. And we're going to speak our fucking piece. And that's it. And it might be a thing that goes around, you know, like, look, it's June. I get it, man. Everybody's like, woo. I mean, I don't fucking care. And they're up here always talking about, like, yo, I'm trying to piss them off. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't care what you do. Stop telling me about it. Right? I don't care. Do what you want to do. Live and let live. Shut the fuck up, though. How about that? Shut up. Otherwise, you open the door to fucking criticism. Just like I am now. So these people that are tweeting me crazy, go ahead. Tweet all the crazy shit you want. It's not going to change my opinion of you. I still feel the same way. In fact, like, do you know how many people are like, oh, bro, wait till your kid's gay. Oh, I hope your kid's gay or trans. Like, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Hello? You're proving my fucking point. I know you do. There's a very small amount of brain cells. It's just criminally online people, you know. It's sad. It really is sad. I shouldn't laugh too much at it. It truly, truly is sad. And I mean what I say. I'm very much so going to pray for these people. But, dude, just lost, man. In the sauce. At the bottom of the spaghetti bowl, man. Just trying to fight their way out the pasta, you know. No hope.
First of all, I think I made my points clear at the beginning about what I think is going on with this trans movement and whatnot. But at the same time, people need to realize that the reason why this is going on, the reason why this hashtag equality, why we need to have certain DEI, diversity, equality, and inclusion hirings, and why there's a big push for all this, is because there's nothing actually really happening in the world that anyone really has to worry about or actually has to in their countries of the West, where there's actually something of importance happening where we need the best of the best doing things. Like, we're doing all this because at the end of the day, we have nothing else in our lives that's important, nor is a problem. But I think that is all going to change. As it stands right now, we kind of are, in a roundabout way, pretty close to World War III. China's rising up. Taiwan could be a huge, I guess, turning point if China invades Taiwan, because Taiwan, if you don't know, has all the silicone, is one of the major, or not the major, is the major number one manufacturer of silicone chips, which is pretty much in every single electronics we have. And also with Russia and the Ukraine, and, you know, they're not really doing anything to actually prevent World War III. They actually want to push it, and we could say that's because, you know, there's a whole agenda, a whole plan that they need to depopulate the earth. And, you know, like, I was listening to, I was listening to Tim Dillon, out of all people, talking about how, you know, in America especially, and in California and a lot of places, the average cost of a house is exponentially higher and out of reach than the cost of or rather the pay or salary average yearly income, to make it clear, of people. And it's all corporations buying up property. And, you know, basically it's Klaus Schwab, you've owned nothing and you'll be happy. And my point, though, as well, is they're talking about conscription, military conscription. And military conscription is for a certain age and a certain demographic. And that would be males 18 to 27. And this whole equality, this whole nonsense, and this whole pride, and this whole everybody, you know, we don't have, you know, no genders, and you know, hey, we got to hire DI people to take over and help us. You know, we got to have more equality, we have to have more representation. Really gets thrown the fuck out the window when you start talking about things that are actually important, like defending your country, because it doesn't say, we have conscription for people 18 to 27, military draft. No, it's males 18 to 27. You want to know why? Because they're the strongest and the most, I guess, the best fit, the best demographic for actually being strong and powerful and going and defending a country. It doesn't say women involved, it says males, because when a war goes off, it isn't the women. I don't care how much bullshit you think about, women fighting the war. Yeah, you know, there are. Everyone does their part. A lot of people, when there's an actual world war, like the last World War II, you know, women did a lot of things. But at the end of the day, it is 9.9% of men dying. 99.9% of men, hundreds of millions of people dying. They're going out there and fighting for bullshit. Let's be honest. The world wars, like as General Patton, who said we defeated the wrong boss. Let's not get into that because we can't get canceled for going down that fucking rabbit hole. Nonetheless, the point is that this whole LGBTQ thing and everything is equality and all this nonsense is only because there's nothing really happening. There's no war. There's no dilemma. There's nothing. Everyone's just, we have nothing else to fight for. We have no meaning in life. So we'll just try to make everything like rainbows and unicorns and a bunch of fluff and bullshit. But when the shit hits the fan and it becomes real, all that nonsense gets thrown out the window because it's all crap. And when it really hits the fan, it's 18 to 27-year-old males, guys with testosterone, with the balls and a cock, going out there and dying, okay? That's the reality, because when you want actually something important to happen, you need the best. And the whole DEI nonsense is gonzo. All right. The climate change nonsense, all of this, you don't seem to realize this is all being orchestrated. All this nonsense could be stopped. Like every crisis we have, whether it be housing crisis, drugs, climate change, it's not even fucking real anyways. Let's keep it real. Climate change is real, but it's not a crisis. It's a nonsense. All of this doesn't, state laws, federal laws, implementations of different kind of plans could be put into place instantly. They have hundreds of billions of dollars to send over to some war in Ukraine for a proxy war, but they don't have that money to solve their own countries because they don't want to. Okay? They don't want to. And everybody falling for all this nonsense, and it's nothing but just a giant fucking chess game, and we're the pawns. Thanks for watching the video. Stay woke or black or some shit. Don't let the honky cracker or tuna shapeshifters bring you down.